All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other monitor over here so that I can grab that link and put it inside of our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us here on the YouTube live easily and conveniently. All right. Okay, looks like the link is ready. So let me grab that. All right, I got it. Let me throw that in the group. Okay, that is posting and cycling through. So let me go back to the YouTube live so that I can make sure I see the live chat so that those of you that are here live and you want to chat with us, I can see it and we can talk back. All right, cool. I think we are ready. It has been said that people don't buy services, they buy the way services make them feel. Today, we're answering the question, how do you use feelings to increase your sales? So, we're going to talk about as an answer to that, anchor the offer in emotion. So, this is coming from this week's blog, Why Pain Sells in Business and How It Drives Revenue. If you want to follow along, why can't I grab this link? Why is it doing that? All right. Let me just grab it from the actual post there. If you want to follow along, you can go to shaycannon.com/pain. That's shaycannon.com/pain. Uh, Again, this whole conversation for the blog this week is anchored around your offer being a painkiller, which is something your potential client needs to buy it right now, can't live without it, type of thing. Versus your offer of being a vitamin, which is something that is a nice to have. They might buy it, they might not. If they buy it, they might buy it now or they might buy it later. Okay. We want our offer to be a painkiller. And oftentimes, the way that we set up our offers, the way that we market our offers, the conversation around us pitching our offer to those that may need it, it simply isn't strong enough. So it tends to be a mild conversation, which is more of a vitamin, where if we ramp it up and make it a stronger conversation with harder hitting strategies around that conversation, it's more of a painkiller, something they have to buy now to get out of pain. Okay. So we talked about three strategies and we're ending with the fourth strategy today. The first one was on Monday in part one, you need to target the right pain. We have offers that solve more than one problem, but what is the problem that has them in the most pain? Because that's what the conversation needs to be around. If you want to hear more about that and 10 strategies to help you to do that, and 5 strategies to help you to actually pick the pain that is the worst that they would need to get out of first, go back to part one from Monday. All right. The second strategy was when it comes to the pain they're in, show the cost of them not relieving that pain. Okay, we want to show them that if you're in pain and it's enough for you to want to get out of, but you're hesitating or you're doing nothing about it, these are the things that you are, as an expense, having to deal with. What it's costing you to still be in that pain. So we talked about that. We even had 10 strategies for the conversation around that. If you need that, go back to part two from Tuesday. All right. Yesterday was part three. The strategy was all about sharing the transformation in ways that they would trust. We have to understand that there's a lot of con artistry and mistrust in our industries. And so we want our offer to be something that they trust will actually relieve them of the pain. So we had that conversation. We got 10 strategies for showing that trust and building that trust with our offer. Yesterday was part three, so go back to that. Today, we're rounding it out, okay? Because we want you to do all, we want to kind of wrap in all three of the things. What is the biggest pain? Okay. What is the biggest cost if they don't get out of that pain? And then what is the biggest trust factor we can put into the conversation for them to get their pain relief from us? Now we're going to anchor all of that in and our offer in emotion, right? Humans, as humanity, we tend to make emotional decisions, and what we purchase is no different. All right. So let's go to the blog. Anchor the offer in emotion. At the deepest level, what truly makes an offer irresistible is its ability to anchor in human emotions that go beyond the surface problem. Business decisions aren't just logical, they're deeply emotional, tied to identity, security, and the life someone envisions for themselves. When entrepreneurs often speak of those higher stakes to their ideal clients, what helps is the clients step into who they want to be. They protect what matters most or achieve the lifestyle they dream of. So, when you anchor in emotion, it transcends being a simple service. It becomes a part of the client's sense of self and their future. This connection, okay, connecting the offer and the pain to the emotions around it, doesn't just create buy in, it creates loyalty because people aren't just purchasing a solution, they're investing in their own transformation and the bigger vision they hold for their lives. Okay. So, emotion is key. That's what's in the blog. But here on the morning show, I give you more. So let me pull up these show notes because I now have 10 strategies to effectively anchor your offer in emotions for higher sales conversion. Uh, as I've been doing all week, I'm going to go ahead and give you the question of the day. Let me give you that. Um, and put that also in the YouTube. The YouTube, the question is too long for YouTube. So let me split it in two for YouTube. What is that? All right. So we split the question in two for YouTube. YouTube's been quiet lately though, but we still giving y'all a chance to participate. Also, I do have a chat GPT prompt. It will be in the show notes, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to our in studio people because we're tying in everything to come up with some of these emotions. All right. Cool. Let's go into these 10 strategies. Oh, I didn't tell y'all the question. I didn't read it, I should say. First question is: what are some of the emotions your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem you solve with your offer? And then, of course, I want to know the two strategies out of the 10 I'm going to give you that you feel like are going to be most useful for your sales conversion. All right. Now, let's go into the 10. Again, top 10 strategies to effectively anchor your offer in emotions for higher sales conversions. Number one, name the hidden shame behind the struggle with that pain. Okay. So some of it could be embarrassment, right? Some of it could be feeling lesser than. Some of it can be imposter syndrome, all these things, right? But name that shame out loud as a part of your messaging that makes them feel seen so that they can open the door to coming and getting the relief that they need. Okay. So, again, there's a lot of shame around pain, right? As humans, what tends to happen is a lot of us or a lot of you tend to take on, I'm going to say, some ownership for the pain. Ownership that you probably shouldn't, right? But you start to look at the pain as something that is your fault. Therefore, it creates a shame. So, what could they be looking at the pain and thinking is their fault, and therefore have created shame around? And we're going to use that in our messaging. Okay. Number two, connect burnout to miss dreams. So burnout isn't just, being tired of something. It's about your dreams slipping away because there's no energy left to chase them, right? So they've been doing the wrong things all this time. They've stayed in pain all this time. So we're going to tie that to the exhaustion of why they're not having the bigger life that they want, right? You're so tired from doing the wrong things. It's part of the reason why you don't have the life that you want, or the result that you want, or the transformation that you want. Okay. Number three, call out the fear of falling behind. So show how stagnation feels like being left in the dust while other people are moving forward. That emotional urgency drives them to act now, right? I'm gonna tell you like this. Whatever pain you help people get out of, they have seen people in their same pain at the same time as them. And there are some people who are no longer in pain and they feel like they've been left behind because they are still in that pain. We need to use that in our conversation with them. Okay. Number four, expose the frustration of wasted effort, right? So nothing cuts deeper than feeling like you're working hard but not seeing results. Position your offer as the relief from endless effort without the payoff. Okay, so this combined with yesterday's, creating that trust and showing trust and building trust works well together. Okay, number five, turn self-doubt into the villain. Frame the real enemy as the constant whisper they have in their head that maybe you're not cut out for this, or maybe you're supposed to be feeling this pain, whatever, right? So you're going to position your offer as the weapon against that villain, all right? So the villain is not them themselves, the client. The villain is what is the wrong mindset. The villain could be what are other people telling them that's keeping them in pain. But find the villain, okay? Find the antagonist and you be the protagonist. Find the villain and you be your offer is the hero. Number six, reframe the pain as stolen freedom. So connect the struggles of the pain to the very freedom that they want in a result, right? So that twist makes the pain feel more personal, not just professional or not just abstract. Dr. LaFera is a great one, right? These people are literally in pain or in a state of unwellness, right? And so the life that they want, the freedom to do the things that they want, is it feels stolen from them by the sickness or the unwellness, right? So you play upon that. Number seven, highlight the anxiety of uncertainty. So unpredictable revenue or chaotic systems don't just hurt businesses; they constantly cause stress for the business owner. That's more my ideal clients, right? But what about your ideal clients? Whatever pain they're in and the things they're feeling, right? They're scared to plan because of this pain. That pain makes their life uncertain. So getting out of that pain allows them to feel a little more in control because that anxiety feeling is coming from uncertainty and a feeling of loss of control. All right. Number eight, tie relief to emotional wins and not just numbers. Okay. So clients can feel confident, proud, and in control again when you frame your offer as the emotional reset that they need to actually get what they want. Okay. So we talk more about the win and the emotions around the win than we are around the loss for this strategy. Number nine, paint the gap between current pain and the big dream. So this is kind of like number eight, but different. Okay. What does it feel like when they're in the middle of in between pain and where they want to be? What are the feelings that come about during that time? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the pain now, and then we're going to talk about and put it against the life that they want. So the emotional contrast is sharpening their desire for change. Okay. So what are those emotions that they're feeling? Now we want to talk about the emotions of being in pain versus the emotions of the actual transformation of what they want. Number 10, position your offer as proof that they can win. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, some people are problem aware, which are great, which is a great thing for our potential clients to be. Some people think that you have an offer that could help them get out of that pain. Okay. And they believe it can work for some people, but for some reason they feel like nothing's gonna work for them in particular. Okay. So that's that lack mindset and all of that stuff. So position your offer as proof that they too can win. So sometimes the deepest pain is the belief that maybe success isn't for them. Your offer should feel like proof that their dream is possible, not just for others, but also for them. Okay? So those are the 10 strategies that we're going to use, start a conversation around the emotions with the pain and the offer. Okay? We're going to start with Shawana Kennedy Media when I do after the recap. But as a reminder, the two questions are: what are some of the emotions your potential clients feel your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem you solve, and which of the two strategies are going to help you have a better conversation around that to increase your sales conversions. Okay, let me go back to the 10 strategies. All right. Top 10 strategies to effectively anchor your offer in emotions for higher sales conversion. Number one, name the hidden shame behind the struggle. Number two, connect burnout to the missed dreams. Okay. Or, the fact that they're tired, and, add that to the fact that they just don't have the energy on their own to get to where they want to go. They need some support. They need your offer. Number three, call out the fear of falling behind, of staying in pain. Number four, expose the frustration of everything they've done that's been wasted effort and they're not out of pain yet. Okay. Number five, turn self doubt into the villain. Not them, but their mindset. How, turn those negative feelings that they are in and the pain as the villain. Okay. Number six, reframe pain as stolen freedom. Number seven, highlight the anxiety of the uncertainty that the pain brings about. Number eight, tie relief to emotional wins and not just numbers and stats. Number nine, paint the gap between pain and the transformation. In other words, contrast all the feelings around the pain with all the feelings around the transformation. Number 10, position your offer as proof that they too can win. All right. Before we go to Shawana Kennedy Media, I want to remind you guys of a past blog post where we kind of talked about some words that are, we're going to say, words that help. They're not necessarily emotionally charged like we're talking about today, but they are words that are emotionally charged to help move action about. So they're marketing words. Okay. So if you go to shaycannon.com/words, what you will see is a blog post that has been categorized with some words. So scarcity words and why you want to use them. And then there's a list of them. Now the list is in paragraph form. Then some money or value words, why you want to use them. And here's the list. Vanity words, why you want to use them and the list. And then trust words. Now we talked about trust yesterday, so we might need some of these words. So here's the list. Okay. So that's where shaycannon.com/words that can help you with some of your copy and content, besides using emotional words. Okay. Now I am giving you a chat Lord, I can't talk. Chat GPT prompt to help you to get some emotional words that are great for the strategies that we're talking about today. So that prompt is, my ideal client is, you fill in the blank. Their biggest pain is, fill in the blank. The biggest cost of them doing nothing to relieve the pain is, fill in the blank. The transformation they want the most as motivation to get out of pain is, fill in the blank. And then my offer that gives them their desired transformation is, fill in the blank with the description of your offer. And then it says, for each of the following 10 strategies, give me 5 impactful and highly effective emotional words and or phrases to use when writing content and sales copy for my offer. And then you're going to put in the 10 strategies that we just talked about. And then ChatGPT is going to pop you out some emotional words that you can start using. Okay. So you're not on your own. Once again, I'm giving you support to come up with this stuff. All right. Cool beans. Now let's go to our question of the day. We're going to start with Shawana Kennedy Media. Shawana, what are some of the emotions your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem you solve with your offer? And what 2 strategies out of the 10 you think will help you to start a conversation that will increase your sales conversions?
Good morning. Right away, frustration, burnout. Um, yeah, they tired from wearing too many hats.
And still not making money.
And still not making money. Yeah, even in some cases, depending on who they are, because or how highly emotional that they may be, it could be some shame. It could be some shame attached to that. So it's the frustration, the burnout, shame, even self-doubt and uncertainty. So it was almost
Yeah,
the
well,
whole
let me
list.
ask for the biggest one. So give me one. Go to the
Frustration,
list for me. Okay, frustration.
frustration,
All right, now which of the two strategies will help you to highlight that frustration?
reframing the pain as stolen freedom.
I
And
like that. I
and
like
then
that.
another one that stuck out was positioning the offer, the way you position the offer as the proof that they can win. Um,
Yes.
so those were like the top, but they all, yeah, they were all good.
I like that. And number four was the very thing you said, which is expose the frustration of the wasted effort. So they don't need their frustration exposed because that's their biggest pain. They already know the frustration, right? So I like that for you. Who being? Let's go to Heather. Heather, what are some of the emotions of your potential clients feel that your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem that you solve with your offer? And what are the two strategies that will help you to highlight that to increase your sales conversion?
I think my clients also suffer from frustration, but I think it's also um, a fear of being left behind or falling behind
Okay, I
because
like that.
they want to grow their businesses, they want to grow their personal brands. They know they need to write a book to do it, and they see other people doing it, but they're not doing it. So I think that calling out the fear of being left behind, obviously number three, um, and then mm, maybe the emotional relief.
Okay.
I was thinking about that because I know when I put the last period on the last page of the book, I was like, whew, like I could breathe again, like, it was like, I mean, now the other crap comes in, but still, like that is a good thing. Otherwise, painting the gap between pain and the dream.
That's pretty much what.
Also,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I like that for you. Cool. All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya Davis. What are some of the emotions for your potential clients that they feel the most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem that you solve with your offer? And what two strategies will help you to highlight that to increase your sales conversion?
So I put it in Chat GPT, a variation in version because I'm multitasking. But the shame behind the struggle, which is the one that I kind of lean into. But I wanted what it gave me a message like to use for each of those. So um, the one was hidden shame behind the struggle, and then the message is you're not broken because success doesn't feel good. You're simply following someone else's script, and there's no shame in outgrowing what once fit. The shame belongs to the outdated programming, not to you. And that's exactly
Love
what
it.
I'd be hitting them with. Yep, I was like,
Yes.
yep, that's it.
Yep. I
Um,
love
a-
it. I
and
love
then
it.
the other one that I really liked was the paint the gap between current pain and where they want to be. So the
Mm-hmm.
current pain it gave me was you've checked all the boxes, career, family, accolades, but inside you still feel drained and unfulfilled. And then the desired state is imagine waking up energized, aligned with your soul, and certain that the success you've built actually feels good on the inside.
Man, that's powerful. Yes,
Yes.
that is the bomb then. Okay, thank you, thank you. All
Yes.
right, I love it. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, the questions of the day are what are some of the emotions your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem solved by your offer? And what two strategies from today can we start to create a conversation around to increase your sales conversions?
I would say
Mhm.
helplessness, discouragement, and resignation.
Ooh, goodness. Which one you think is the biggest one?
Um, Resignation, because they're just determined to, well, this is just going to be how my video looks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. What two strategies do you think will help you start that conversation in ways that will increase your sales conversion?
I'm trying to get the wording of the one that is positioning the offer as something they can't do on their own. You said,
Okay, that
yeah.
would be the self doubt.
Is that self-doubt?
I think that's the self doubt. Frame the real enemy as the constant whisper of maybe you're not cut out for this. Let me see what another one could it be. Da, 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 da. Emotional
Yeah, I'm
energy.
sorry. You said it and I didn't remember the wording of because I do have turned self-doubt into the villain.
Okay, so it
Um,
was another net that you were thinking of. Okay, let me
yeah, it
see.
was another one. But I don't, maybe because I also checked tying relief to emotional wins.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
Let's go with those two because right now
okay.
I feel like I'm not finding what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I heard you say it, and I was like, oh wait, which one was that? And I couldn't remember, but I remembered that part. So
Hmm.
yeah, those are the two.
I like it. Cool beans. Let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, what are some of the emotions your potential clients feel most when they are in the biggest pain associated with the problem you solve with your offer? And what two strategies from today will help you to frame that emotion in a conversation that will increase your sales conversions? And if you're talking to us, you're okay. There you go.
I said fear of decline, from losing everything that they've built. Um, and then the strategy I have is the stolen freedom.
Mm.
And that's fatigue is already stolen enough. Your weekends, your peace, your presence with the people you love. How much more are you willing to let it take? And then another one is tie wins to pain relief. And so that one is like when you rebuild your energy, you don't just get through the day, you get your life back. The dinners, the laughter, the moments, that exhaustion
Come on
almost
now. Okay.
almost
Okay.
stole.
Look at you. So, Dr. LaFera, so you've been working with me all week, right? Every time we brought up one, you worked on your version of it and you compounded. You work on the next day, that version of it. How are you
Mm-hmm.
feeling now that we've completed the series? Do you feel like your message is hard hitting, like it cannot be ignored? It is a painkiller.
I do feel like that those statements were painkillers. I was struggling. I was wondering like if my statement was strong enough, and I kept, like you said, putting it in, and I'm like that doesn't seem like a painkiller, and it would tell me like I don't know if that's a painkiller,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I feel like this is, and the messaging was is really good because I feel those things, or I have felt those things, so.
Come on now. I love it. Okay, cool beans. So we have completed our week, right? And what I wanted us to get out of this week is to understand that we can't have a weak message because we're going to have weak sales with a weak message. We need a strong message if we want strong sales. And so that's the difference between having an offer that's a painkiller and a vitamin. So does anybody have any questions about this conversation, this mindset shift? Or any of the four strategies, targeting the right pain, talking about the cost of them doing nothing, talking about the transformation in ways that they trust that you can deliver what you say you can. And today, anchoring the offer in the emotions. And we put all of these things together to create this powerful message that cannot be ignored. Any questions, any value adds, any aha moments on this week?
Me,
Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
the emotional piece of this today, I mean, the entire week has been talking about these things, but the emotional piece, particularly today, is something that was really good because that's something to zero in on. People buy based off of emotion, right? Even when it comes to products or whatever, they
Mhm.
buy based on emotion. So I think taking the same strategy as the person who hasn't eaten and so they're hungry, so they buy every damn thing in the the grocery store is a good pain point. So.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Again, affirmation and confirmation. Anybody else? You have a question, a value add, or an aha moment from this week of painkiller versus vitamin? All righty. So in today's show notes, right, you're going to get the prompt and you're going to get the reminder of that blog post link with the marketing words. So no worries if you missed that. Dr. Latoya, you had something you wanted to add?
Yes, I was going to say from yesterday's, excuse me, from yesterday's episode, where, it was like, what's that? Anyway, from yesterday's episode where I was struggling to get to kind of what the thing that they would resonate with. And I said, well, my phrase that I always use is, you deserve to live a life that lights you up from the inside out. But I thought to like make that, I'm going to say, a call out. But
Mm-hmm.
since yesterday, I've been thinking, I was like, no, like in its simplest form, that really is it. right? People are like, I don't know what's off. I don't feel good, but I know that there's more and I deserve that. And so I just wanted to say thank you for like helping me to just simplify and lean into the thing that I was already saying and doing, but to frame it differently.
Love it. Love it. I love this. So, the ways you can use what you've learned from this week is going to be in your content. It's going to be in your promotional stuff. It's going to be on your sales page copy. It's even going to be in your website stuff. Okay. So, it's you just want to, whenever you're talking about your offer and what you do for people, you want it to be so powerful. And so I had to come up with a way to help you to do that rather just than just telling you and throwing at you, it needs to be a painkiller, not a vitamin. It needs to be a painkiller, not a vitamin. I mean, we're just trying to do deep dives for some of the things that we talk about all the time. What does that really mean? And how do we actually get that done? Like, stop talking at me and help me, right? So that's what this week was supposed to do. So I am honored that you guys are giving me the feedback that that's what it has done. Okay, cool beans. Anybody else got a question, a value add, or an aha moment? Dr. LaFerro?
Because of what we did this week, I was able to stop feeling like I had to specifically like call out something medical. Because I'm usually talking over people's heads when I do that, and I get tired of people asking me like, what does that mean? When there are people that I could help, and to start leaning into like the emotion, because everybody has emotions. Like, they don't have to be big words. They don't have to be like smart words that rhyme and all that stuff that you hear some people doing. And that's what I got caught in trying to do, is like make stuff like pop. And it can be like really simple, like just as long as the people you're trying to talk to understand it. So yeah, that helped me a lot.
Dr. Tachi?
Yes. So what you said just brought up something for me. Yesterday, Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media, as you like to call her, and I were talking about the whole thing with Tabitha Brown and this new debacle. And part of the problem that we kind of surmised was that, so just like you, what you said, you were like, okay, well, stop telling me this and to help me. She gave a message out there and it wasn't really helpful. She just said, go get a job. Okay, well, that was not helpful and did not move the conversation forward. So when you said what you just said, I'm like, that was exactly the problem that Tabitha Brown had. She gave this lofty advice, but no real way to actually solve the problem. And people are already annoyed with you. So this just made it even more annoying. So I just wanted to put that in a
Yeah.
current event frame.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I do think that she called the problem and then gave the solution that she thought would work. The problem that she was saying is basically everybody's not cut out to be an entrepreneur. So if you're not making no money as an entrepreneur, it may be time to get a job. But instead of her being more clear with what she's trying to help with, she spent too much time on to get a job, right? And what we understand is a lot of people who are doing their damnedest to be entrepreneurs and full-time entrepreneurs, it hit them. It hit them in their fears. It hit them in their shame. It hit them in all of the emotions. And yeah, it was a
And
thing, right?
and it's not that I necessarily disagreed with her. Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. Maybe sometime, just like you're telling other people, maybe this is not your lane. This is not your lane to be giving advice on this when you're not prepared to fully give the advice and for the onslaught that will come with it. So,
Yeah, I think she could have done it better. There's so much more she could
yeah.
have drawn from and that we've come to expect from her, right? Like I didn't feel like she drew enough on her biblical background. And I'm not one that know verses. So that's but that's who you're supposed to be. So, God is love is on the necklace, but you didn't deliver that in love for real. And that's not her usual thing, right? I feel like she could have gone back to the times when it wasn't working out for her, and that's why she had to drive Uber, right? When she was going live in her car. So the dream wasn't funding the life, and so she had to do the Uber. That was getting a job. I feel like she had so much she could have drawn on to come at it in a way that would have been deemed more helpful. Yeah, Dr. LaFera said her typical empathy was missing. It was. I still say she said what she said, but she said it the way I would have said it, and not the way Tabitha Brown usually says things. But even when I say things blunt and straightforward, I still come to you with love, which is I come to you in a way that is supporting you. I'm not just calling you out. I'm trying to give you some kind of tool, strategy, or something to help you with what I called out. And I don't think she did that enough. To your point, Dr. Tachi.
Really quickly though, you are you, and that's the way you do things. But you also say, when like you talk about the jump job, you call it a dream funder. There's a
Yeah,
difference between just saying go get a job and you know what, maybe you need a dream funder right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Most
yeah,
definitely.
you're
Doctor,
different. Don't put
you see,
yourself
Dr.
there.
LaFera said, Dr. Sarah, LaFera said, I cut her and then I ask her if she's okay. I do more than ask you if you're okay. In fact, I'm not even the one that cut you. I'd be like, hey, you cut yourself. You see that you bleeding while you acting like you're not bleeding. Would you like some bandages? Stop acting like you ain't bleeding. It's more what I do. I don't cut you. So yeah. But yeah, that was great, Dr. Tachi, for bringing in the current events into what we're talking about today. Cool beans. Anybody else want to add anything or have a question? Great. Well, what's
Oh,
happening in
I was trying to get to my microphone.
Oh Jesus. Okay, what you
Again,
got?
another great week. What I actually need to do is what I just heard Dr. Latoya saying. Uh, I need to go back through, and I have got to put all of this in sequence. All of these that you asked us this week, because is another set of something, and how when she said, hey, I dropped it in there, and it was giving her all of this amazing information about who she is already, and she know, but the way that it laid it out. And
Yep.
so to stack all of this stuff, so y'all, next week y'all already know I'm just going to open up a new GPT and just build on that one so that it don't get confused with nothing else. That was it. That was some of my thoughts.
I love it. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, you start with Monday and you figure out like which is the pain you should be targeting, which is the one they feel the most, and they need to get out of it. We choose that pain. And then the second thing is what is it costing them to stay in that pain? And then the third one is how do we talk about our transformation in ways that they trust we can get them out of that biggest pain? And then we use all of that for the prompt today and today's strategies to then talk about what are the emotional words and messaging we need to use around it. So yes, you're correct. It builds upon itself. So cool beans. What Dr. LaFera, she says, Shay, my coach, my big sister friend. Yep, all of that, all of that. Um, all right, guys. So on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we start our 14-day September Goals Momentum Sprint inside of the paid membership. This is one of the things that we do inside that membership that really kind of gives everybody the cost of the value of the cost that they're paying, right? Because it is helping them to achieve way more goals and forward motion in their business. So if you want to get into the membership, go to shaycannon.com/membership. Okay. 7 p.m. I'll see you Sunday. Okay, cool, Heather. This has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus links to resources like how to join the free business mastermind group and how to get the show notes with the strategies from today's show and recent past shows in the description below. If you have not already, you know we gave you value today and all week. Like this episode, okay? Give us a thumbs up. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and understand that today was one video out of a 4 video series. All of them together are highly impactful and valuable. So check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day.